This morning's job is the ball joint at the bottom of the driver's side hub, but I thought I'd just go out first thing and see if I can record the noise that it's currently making. There's one junction that's got an appalling road surface and you're making a right hand turn on it, so I'm just approaching that. But listen. Well, I definitely heard it. It'd be interesting to see whether that was picked up on the recording. I am going to change the lower ball joint, which is this bit here, and it goes here. So here's the existing one. As you can see, it's sort of held in with two Torx screws. Just difficult to see the far side one. My plan is to take this top cap off, remove the bolt, and then hammer from the inside of the ball joint, rather than hammering here, which will just bend all this over the top and make it harder to go out. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. First job is to get these fellas out, so obviously I've got to remove this bar. Right, stage one is done. I just spotted something that's of probably no interest to anybody else but me. On the rubber of this ball joint, it's got 250818. 250818. So that's an original JLR part. So I guess from the fact that the stamping on the rubber is the same, this is the original ball joint. So it's done 12 years of hauling around and supporting 2.5 tons or whatever these things weigh. So it's not too bad. Next step, remove the banana arm from the ball joint and then take the Torx screws out. This is now off the rear banana arm, that's banged down. But the next stage is getting these two Torx bolts out. So as you can see, I've got the jack, a suitable extension bar. It's about as well into there as I can get it. It's not quite at a right angle to the Torx head, but the challenge now is to try and undo this. So I've got a ring spanner on here, 17mm ring spanner. I'm now trying to undo this without stripping the thread, stripping the Torx bolt. So let's see how we go. That came pretty easily, I'm glad to say. I have been squirting plus gas in it, but I'm glad to say that that one is undoing nicely, so that's great news. I'll squirt a bit more lube in the top just to let it run down. And I'll move the banana arm out the way and get the rear one. But pleased at that. Right, same method for the rear Torx. Got the jack under there. Yeah, good. So I got the initial so good. These two are now out. This is the bit that's got to come down, but the general view is just hammer the living daylights out of it. But I think if you start bending this, then you're just actually you're going to make the job harder. There are a few posts on the full fat Range Rover forum where people take this cap off by chiseling it off, and then the thing, what is it, the threaded ball joint passes up through the top, and then you can hit it from the inside. So that's the method I'm going to try. Let's see how we go. Fine, good news. Let me show you where I've got to. I had to resort to the head torch. I have moved some of the plastic away, but I've decided to leave the actual ball joint itself in there, because you can see the mark on the ball joint. That's where I'm hitting it, and it is actually coming out by hitting on the top of that ball joint. So this is how I know it's actually moving, because there is a small gap between the plate here and the hub. I have hit it quite hard on this side, just try and jolt it. I'm now going to carry on hitting it down on the ball joint. Let's put my ear protection back on. Don't want to make the tinnitus any worse than it is. So this is the chisel I've got, just the B&Q special from my father-in-law. It seems to fit in there quite nicely. A 4-pound hammer, which, to be quite honest, is a bit heavy for me, but the bigger the hit, the better. Ho ho ho! Happy days. Well, that was easier than expected. Let's have a look at the two side by side. So this is the new one. It has got a step here. I'd say that this top is probably almost 0.2 mil. There's probably a 0.2 mil step here. I'm not sure whether the aftermarket ones have this. And as this is 35 quid, I know you can get them for a tenner. You know, for the 25 quid. You know, why wouldn't you just buy the OEM one? Yeah, so what's worth knowing, I have been soaking this with plus gas over the last couple of weeks. Some of it may have got down there, but I think definitely hitting it, taking that top cap off and hitting that ball joint helps move the force sort of as vertically down as possible, rather than just trying to muller the top of these. Anyway, let's clean up, get the old one, get the new one back in. So that's the state of it. Now I've just given it a wipe round. It's not too badly corroded. I'll just put a smear of grease in there when I put the new one in again. Just tightening these Torx back up. It's like a workout, spinning around on the floor. So when one gets tight, I go around and do the other one, because it's probably going in a bit squiffy. Obvious really, but the goal now is to get that back onto there. I'm struggling to pull the kind of front assembly back, so I'll show you what I've done. I've got this ratchet strap, put it through the back wheel and then around the front. What's that one here? That's the front suspension arm. So I'm hoping that when I tighten it, it'll bring the whole front assembly backwards. I'll be able to get this on. Good. Right, that's sort of on. I just need to get it a bit more on before I release it, else it can damage the thread, I think. Yeah, so the strap worked quite well. Pulled it all back into place. Got the bolt on the bottom. Just need to reconnect the height sensor, get that reconnected, and then wheel back on. Right, that's that job done. Taking the cap off the ball joint worked really well. I think I was able to get a good strike down. The other thing that I hope made a difference was cleaning it up and doing a bit of prep, probably soaking it in plus gas, kind of like, I think I've sprayed it maybe 10 times in the last couple of weeks in preparation for this job. So that may have found its way in there. You'll see, I think you'll see on the video how it did come out eventually. I think it was pretty straightforward. But again, all about method. So I hope this has helped if you have this job pending on your L322. Join me again soon. Yeah, hopefully I've got Bodsy coming to do a auto gearbox fluid change soon. So I'll try and capture most of that. Okay, take care. Bye.